undefeated. Undefeated. Who do you think that you are? When I tell y'all that I run things, y'all better believe me. Spin the earth on my finger like round ball. I'm a globetrotter. That's easy. No lie.
What up, everybody who talks boxing, comments about boxing, and makes boxing videos. So, this was a video that I really meant to make after the Thurman Porter fight, and I simply forgot. I was just a bit discouraged about the sport. I was excited about the fight, but other than that fight, I mean, the sport just seemed kind of stagnated, and I didn't really feel, I don't like to do like certain other channels and just report on every stupid little thing. Like if Floyd Mayweather bought a new car, or a Tiger Cub, or Danny Garcia has a 6 toe on one of his feet. I don't care about any of that stuff. And I'm not gonna go. Anytime a fighter makes a comment about another fighter, and a fighter that I hate, which I don't hate any fighter, but I'm just saying some channels do this, is involved, twist it to make it look them worse than what they really are. Not gonna report on tabloids. I'm not gonna give my take on hearsay for the most part. I mean, it depends. Sometimes if it's interesting enough and it has to do with boxing, I will. But I really meant to make this video before, and it's funny because this past Saturday there was a fight between what was it, Vasquez and Diaz. I'll be honest, me and my girlfriend were watching a movie, and I actually stopped the movie because I wanted to watch all the boxing matches, and she don't like boxing. So I was like, you know what? We'll finish watching the movie because the main event isn't gonna come on till later, and that's what we did. So when I turned it on, it was during the very last round. I believe the fighters' names were Vasquez and Diaz, and the fight I'm talking about if you watch the fights, where they originally ruled it a draw, and then they came back with a rescore and ruled it a unanimous decision for Diaz. So, I mean, I didn't watch the whole fight, so I didn't really know how to feel about that, but I did find that strange. But this isn't even about that fight. I just think it's funny that situation came up, because I actually recorded this video on Friday and deleted it by mistake. So, I'm redoing it. But the topic of the video is scoring. Now, before I go into this, I'm not saying that you shouldn't rescore fights. There's nothing wrong with going back and watching a fight and seeing if you score it and get the same winner. It's intriguing, but at the end of the day, I do think you should always go with your initial score. Me personally, if I'm going to score a fight, I only score it the first time. Every time that I watch the fight after that is purely for entertainment. If it's an entertaining fight, I go back and I rescore it. But I don't, or I can also see you rescoring it if you feel that it was a controversial decision. Maybe you saw it a lot differently than the judges did. You can go back to rescore it to see if there was something you missed. That I can understand, but really you should always go by your original score. And the reason why is because even though that fight with Diaz and Vasquez was re-scored, those judges didn't get to rewatch the fight though. That rescoring happened within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. So there's no way that the judges rewatched the fight and did a rescore. They did a rescore right there on the spot. So they're still going off of what they just seen, purely off of memory. Now, it's possible that they watched some highlights, but out of 10 rounds, I doubt that, there was a whole lot of highlights that they were able to get enough to make like an educated recalculation. So, like I said, if you rewatch fights and you rescore them and you put them in slow motion and everything, I'm not knocking you. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. But me personally, I don't rescore fights because it's like I said, the judges don't get to rewatch the fight and then rescore it. If they rescore it, they got to do it right there on the spot. And they certainly don't watch anything in slow motion. And that's what you have to keep in mind. It's the perception. And everybody looks for different things in fights. Work rate, some people put work rate over accuracy. Other people put accuracy over work rate. Some people don't take illegal tactics into consideration at all. A lot of people scored that fight for Porter. But what they failed to mention a lot of times is the low blows and the rabbit punches. And I do think those things need to be taken into consideration. Not necessarily deducting a point, but if somebody's using illegal tactics, they probably should lose that round. But that's a topic for another video. But basically what I'm saying is, if you rescore fights, there ain't nothing wrong with it. But if you feel a different outcome after rescoring a fight, that's fine. But I think it's pretty pointless to push an agenda based off of that recalculation, because first off, it's not getting overturned. Only way that a win or a loss is going to get overturned is if it's later found out that, or one of the winner tests for PEDs, test positive after the fight. Then it could be overturned. But other than that, simply by rewatching the fight, ain't no decision getting overturned. I could be wrong, but to my knowledge, no fight's been rejudged and then a different decision given at, a later date, whether it be a couple days after or maybe a couple weeks after. To my knowledge, that's never happened. But y'all let me know what y'all think about rescoring. And if you have an opposing view on any topic, just want you to know I welcome opposing views in my comment section and as response videos. Me and the Boxing Junkie, we don't see eye to eye on the PED matter, but we're able to have a dialogue without disrespecting each other. We're actually friends. We don't let our emotions get involved. And there's other people like that as well. Coach Shelton Harrison, me and him disagree on a lot of things. But guess what? There's not been one time where I disrespected that man, and there's never been one time where he disrespects me. He knows that I'm a Triple G fan, and when he talks about Triple G fans and he's getting on the Triple G fans, I know that I'm not included in that because I'm not an extreme fan. I'm a boxing fan who likes Triple G, but I'm not going and parading on people's videos every time they, criticize Triple G. I don't go and like put my lawyer hat on and, accuse them of lying and accuse them of anything else, because there's a lot of accusations that get thrown around. So that being said, if you have an opposing view, feel free to post in the comments, and feel free to make a response video if you'd like. As long as you're not disrespectful toward me, then we can have a good dialogue about it. But anyways, to all my subscribers, anybody who watches my videos, or if you just so happen to stumble on this video, hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.
How you think you gon' stop the movement? You ain't